Alright, y'all. So, wanted to talk to y'all, but I gotta do some chores. So, I thought I might as well, record something while I'm doing some shit. I'm gonna be shoveling the snow as I talk to y'all. Just wanted to have a nice conversation with y'all and how I'm feeling about everything in life. So, there's a couple things I have to. Okay. Number one, I did want to update from yesterday. I did work out. I read. So I'm gonna mark that day off as a check mark. I'm not gonna be able to work out today because of the fact it's so bad outside. I genuinely can't even really drive my car like that. So unfortunately, cannot lift weights. I will do the rest. I will read. So it is still a fucked up day. But you know, those things happen. It's not gonna be like this during the summer. I'm not gonna have to worry about that. But I was just thinking about life and where I want to go and what I want to do with the rest of my life. No matter the doubt, right? It doesn't matter who it comes from. There's not a doubt in my mind on where I believe that I will go in the near future, let alone the far future. It doesn't matter who it comes from. I had a conversation with my father, and my dad was like, what are we doing for your birthday? And my birthday's in September. So, he was asking me because I'm about to be 21, and, he knows that it's a pretty substantial birthday in the mind of most people. Personally, I don't really, I don't drink, I don't, do any of that shit. So, I don't drink, I don't smoke. So it's not really that big of a substantial birthday for me. So he was like, what do you want to do for your birthday? What are we doing? Where are we going? And I was like, I don't even know where I'm going to be in 9 months. This is January. And he was like, I'll tell you right now, life will be the same exact way. And, my response to that was not like, oh, you die, what did I do? Or whatever the fuck. Because he doesn't really know what's going on. He doesn't know how quick shit can blow up. My response to that was, well, you ain't never lived my life because, I know where I'm about to go. And he might not know. And he might not realize, but, I know exactly where my potential is. There is no end for what I want to do. So guess what's going to happen? Nothing but progress during these next couple months. Fucking way more progress than ever in the next couple years. I'll be the best I have ever been. So, there was that. I also wanted to talk about a little bit about, substantial wise, how the month's going. I touched into it a little bit, in the last video when I kind of talked about how I felt. Not much, and I've been, even with this being the worst month of my life, I've learned so much about me and how I trade and how I want to trade. And, I'm not going to stop what I'm doing. And, there's not a doubt that will make me think that, what I need to do is the opposite. Everything points me towards this goal. Points me towards what I love, what I want to do the most, which is this. Something that will be able to fulfill my regimen. Something that will be able to fulfill my cost in life. And one thing I will say is that it's hard. It's hard betting on yourself. It really is, because it's when you have never seen some sort of success like that in your life, to where you said and you said that you were going to be great at something, and you dedicated 100% of your time and effort and energy into something, you know. When you've never done that, it's hard to bet on yourself. Not to say that I don't have belief. I have more belief in myself than I have ever had in anybody else in my entire life. In any other thing in my entire life. Okay. But, those things come where it's almost criminal if you do not doubt yourself. Or not doubt yourself, but doubt how long things can take, and how, if you are the one that's making the mistake in this situation. It's hard not to think that sometimes. But is that going to deter me from my goals? And the answer to that is no. It will not deter me from any single goal that I have in my entire life, because I know that I have met something greater than myself. There's always a bigger purpose in life. Whether you die or live. People think that some people, when they're in such a bad mindset, they say something along the lines of, life will be better without me. And what I'm here to tell you is the truth. And the truth is, life, in the grand scheme of things, this world will neither be better nor worse without you. Neither of these things. And in the grand scheme of things, you're thinking about just being, being a person, being a man, being a woman. It doesn't matter who were to pass away, who is on this earth and who is not on this earth. A very, very select few, tens of hundreds of people, mostly government leaders and things like that, are the only people in this life that actually mean something in this world. Like when they pass away, and it doesn't mean much, because you know what happens after they pass away? They get replaced. They get replaced immediately. So when you're thinking of the grand scheme of things, no matter what happens, no matter if you pass away today, tomorrow, in the next 24 years, it doesn't matter who you are. Life will go on without you. Okay? So don't think of things in the grand scheme of things. Because if you think of things in the grand scheme, you will never matter to everyone. You will barely matter to anyone. Okay? And you have to think about the people that you matter to. The people that you matter to most is, your family, friends, people that love you. Think about them. Those are the real people that actually mean something. I was just thinking about it. Just don't make any dumb decisions on your life, because there's no reason for you to be making those decisions. Those decisions like that, where you could possibly end your potential in this life form. It's horrible to witness, and it happens so often, especially in men, that, it's not good. It's hard to think about because, you don't want somebody to deal with that type of pain and suffering that some people have and the hurt that some people live, and it's horrible. It really is. But what you have to do is just get through it. Love the process of hurt. And what I mean by love the process of hurt is, there's no amount of life without an experience of hurt. Everything costs something. It doesn't matter what type of life you live. It doesn't matter how good your life is, how bad your life is. No matter what you want to accomplish in life, no matter what you do in life, it will cause a hurt, okay, in some point in time. And it sucks because you don't want people to see that hurt. You don't want people to experience the same hurt that you have because it's tough. It's something that's painful, not physically, but the worst type of pain, which is mental pain. So, get yourself some help. If that's what you really need, to experience, get yourself some sort of help because I promise you, you're not a burden to anybody. You are not, you are not a struggle. You are not somebody that is unbearable and being unjust for just asking for some sort of help mentally, physically, financially, for advice, these things. It sucks, okay? And life sucks, and, you shouldn't go through it alone, okay? Although learning is a solo process most of the time, it is always good to get a little bit of help. So don't go through that process alone if you need help. Okay? Don't let your ego get to you. Don't let things, don't let your thoughts worship your mental. Because it's not worth it. It really isn't. On to the next thing. Because life isn't always about death. So let's think about, goals. Things of that nature. Because it's a good thing to get into. Okay? Set goals for yourself. Make sure they're unobtainable so you can try your hardest to get there. But yes, I'm going to talk about something I'm doing. I believe that I will pass that this account. I genuinely have full faith that I will pass this evaluation account. Although I am down. I'm not down by much, I'm down on the month by a lot, but okay. That's what happens. Not everything is, not everything is up. But one of my goals that I have is to be fully funded in allocation with max equity by the end of the year. Okay. And so far, not close. And that's okay. Okay? Because I genuinely believe that I can get there. So what happens? What's my plan? when I do pass this account. Okay. My plan is to go slow to build that buffer. I'm personally looking for a 10 loss buffer to then, you know, go through and help, that so I can risk 1% per trade. I'm going for a 50K right now, so $500 per trade. Right now I'm risking $500, but on the eval, I will start by risking 250 until I build that buffer. So I'm gonna be building a 10 loss buffer, which is 55,000 before I, go for potential payouts. Huh? I just want to see if we're still recording. Yeah, we are. I don't know. I just had that weird notification. But I want to build that 10 loss buffer on all of the accounts. But after I pass this first account, I'm going to build that 10 loss buffer. Build that buffer. Get a big boy payout, which I consider big boy payouts is $5,000 or more. So get a big boy payout. Take that money. Then start allocating the rest of my funds to evaluations. Buy a couple, stack them on top. I'm gonna stick with Apex because I think Apex is really good to have, 20 funded accounts to make actually a good amount of money. So I'm probably gonna switch from 50Ks to 100Ks because that's my plan entirely anyways. Building those in funding and then take those to make more money. And then I'm probably gonna go to Fundindex Futures. Then I'll probably go to Tradeify, Alpha Futures, and if I want more funding, I'll probably go to Take Profit Trader. And those things I want to have full buffers on and build and get payouts on all those accounts, which is around like 30 to 40 accounts. At 100K, if I'm going for a 5K payout, it'll be somewhere between like 100 to 200 grand for a payout. But that's me. I genuinely believe, and I actually think I am going to do that. And in this trading scene, in life in general, if you're trying to get off the grid, do something different from everybody else, you 100% belief in yourself, which is, again, like I said before, hard to do. But if you genuinely believe in yourself, there is nobody that can stop you, because your biggest turn factor is yourself. I'm almost done, so let's get this over with. And to whoever is listening to this, a more boring video, because I'm sitting here shoveling fucking snow, but it's just me talking. I hope everything goes well for you as well.